It's one day before our Bassistry live stream show with the ShowCast Company, and I catch up with Robert Logan to run through the sets and to work out a part for the new track Long Days. Robert is like the glue in the band. He lends depth to the narrative of my music. It's amazing how much we share the same vision when we're working on a piece. On Long Days, the melodic movement he creates leaves space for the piano and also invokes a feeling of melancholy. The next day, I travel with my brother Kev. We stop off on the way and pick up some lights from the Colour Sound Experiment Company. They supply the rigs and lighting and sound for festivals, shows and touring bands. They are generously providing us with some very cool neon standing lights. The effect of the restrictions on the whole industry is reflected in a company like this, and it's often missed by the powers that be. They are essential for making our concert experiences so memorable. The ShowCast crew have been setting up since early morning. This means putting up staging, lights, placing cameras and mics for sound in preparation for the band coming in for a spot check and sound check. I've asked filmmaker and friend Steve French if he would do a behind the scenes footage of the making of the show. He actually lives locally, and his business, Box Bear Pictures, did a fab series called Telling Tales. Robert and I were two of a number of musicians interviewed on our experience of making a living in the music industry. Nick and I have arrived first and set up. The band arrives separately. They're welcomed with a camera. In fact, Katie and Dimitri have to walk back to their cars and arrive again for filming purposes. Last to arrive, directly from another job, is Sam. His kit has been set up by Steve, who happens to also be a drummer. Once he's sound checked the drums, we're ready to go. So we run it a few times. It sounds pretty good. Katie and Nicola have always been a huge support to one another in learning songs and remembering lyrics. The important thing is to run tracks that the band see as a priority. It tends to be the newer tracks. We've had no full band rehearsal together. The ShowCast crew also require us to perform certain numbers so that they can set the lighting accordingly and spot the cameras on different members in preparation to filming the show. Cy liaises with the band to make sure we're happy. His mix is a juggle of making sure the audience listening via the stream get the best possible sound, and the in-house sound allows the band to play at its best. One of the things that Cy also eloquently pointed out to us is that as a live stream show, we're performing to the camera. We have to adapt to something quite new. The movement, energy and engagement has to come from the band since there's no audience. We have to work out how to segue between the tracks. So I sit down and work out what music can be played underneath me while I'm introducing the tracks or speaking to camera. I all need to be on the same page, so we take notes and throw around ideas. Scott is essentially the director of the performance, communicating constantly with Ross and Graham on the cameras. He's dynamically producing the show at the same time. I have an iPad set up so I can check the messages sent in. That's a first for me. We get ourselves fed, then changed. Well, Nick and Kate get the biggest changing room to get themselves ready. Then we're on 15 minutes before showtime as the live stream starts. Nervous? Kind of. It's more like a nervous energy. The start of the show is like a television countdown to going live. Robert and I composed a piece of music called Ghosts, which leads up to the show. How did it go? Well, it was a blast. We relaxed into it. We tried a bit of virtual interaction in a track called Special Place. I liked the idea of people in their homes singing the chorus in harmony with us. I asked the band just before we went on stage to give me 3 things that they thought about when I mentioned the word lockdown. I didn't want to know the answers in advance, since I wanted it to feel spontaneous, like it was unrehearsed and in the moment. I hope it came across that way. And to finally hear Long Days with the whole band for the first time was quite a moving moment. So we finished. How did we feel? Well, relieved, elated. We applauded the crew and the crew applauded us. The immediate feedback that we were getting online was fantastic, and we were able to watch back some of the footage, which looked amazing. So all in all, we're feeling pretty good about it. But here's the thing, In life, you never know what's around the corner. On my way home, I ran into a huge roe deer. It was one of 3 that ran across the motorway. I survived, and actually I got away with it lightly. Unfortunately, the deer didn't. It brings you back down to earth. On reflection, the ShowCast Company and Bassistry wanted to do something proactive and positive by producing a show with the highest production values. And whilst you cannot compensate for the instant feedback and the adrenaline of an audience, the positives and what we gained, well, there were people from the US, Australia, Southeast Asia, Europe, Ireland and the UK who were able to see us for the first time. Friends and family, kids too young to get into our shows, or seeing a concert for the first time, or seeing their mother perform for the first time. Katie took Adam to meet her new friend, the horse. So the ShowCast Company have started their journey, and we started it with them. At the end of the show, it actually felt like a new beginning with many possibilities. And I look forward to doing it again with them. And for those of you who made it, a big thank you.